Yeah, Larry. We made it. We almost at a important milestone with the news, man. So we're gonna change it up. We're gonna give it a little more casual vibe to them, and we're gonna get it done. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I understand.
All right.
Let's get it.
Now, give me my call to action, and let's get this show done.
All right, we're going live. Let's
Good
do
morning,
this.
good evening, and good night. Welcome back to the Sly Report. I am first mate of the Gold Fang crew and your host for the Sly Report each and every time you get it, Gold D Rangs. And today, we're going to deliver the news on One Piece, chapter 1099, one away from 1100. Yes, sir. Let's get into it. So we start this chapter where the last chapter left off, with King Kiss Ass, as I like to call him, or King Bakori, coming back to the Sorbet Kingdom and enacting what I like to call the Goa Kingdom policy on the southern half of his island. So what that would be is he is now setting half of his island on fire in order to kill undesirables, in order to please the ruling party of the world that is actively enslaving, genociding, and a lot of other unmentionable things to the random people of the world. So, as this is happening, we get the pastor, Bartholomew Kuma, running into the Faz to save the people. A true man of God, a true man of the people. And once he finishes saving the people, he goes up to the northern half of the island where the northern citizens are even revolting against the king because they find this policy to be unhumane. And the king is like, all right, well, if you don't agree with my policy, go ahead and shoot them. Shoot a couple of them so they know not to mess with me. But this is when the man of God strides out of the shadows and destroys the palace with his mighty hands of liberation. And this fateful day had been recorded in history as the one-man revolution. And thus, this is how Kuma ascended to the throne of Sorbet Kingdom. By the wishes of the people who he had liberated from tyranny. They elected this man to be king. And even then, he remained a humble pastor, only king in name, letting the day-to-days and the intricacies of running the kingdom be handled by the former king, not the one that was a bad person, but the one before him. His name is Bulldog. Him and his mother, Queen Connie, it comes back around. I was asking this question to all of the One Piece community. Once we found out who Bonnie's mother was and all this other stuff, I was like, who is Connie? We need to know. We know. So, the former rulers are now in charge of Sorbet Kingdom. Unofficially. Officially, Kuma is the king. But he still lives in this small church with his daughter, protecting her from her life-threatening disease. And one day, while he is just serving the people, doing his pastorly duties, you see a woman running through the church. And Kuma's childhood friends and Ginny's childhood friends that grew up with them see this woman, and she looks just like Jenny, and they're like, it's Jenny. And Kuma's like, Jenny, what? But no, lo and behold, it is Bonnie. And she is training because she believes that once she turns 10, her disease will be cured. So she is training to be tough so she can go out to the sea with Kuma and explore. But she is also unaware of the fact that she is eating her devil fruit and now is in her adult form. So everybody's looking at her and like confused. And then she looks at herself and she sees that she's in her adult form, and she shocks herself back into her child form. And Kuma passes out at this. Just imagine, you're raising your daughter, and then all of a sudden, she's a grown woman. But yes, and this is where Bonnie got her powers. We don't know where exactly the fruit came from. We don't know how she got a hold of it. But we know at this point, she had her powers, and she had the fruit powers because she ate the fruit. An elderly man in the village is looking through the devil fruit encyclopedia, and he's like, it would seem she has the age powers. I don't know how he has this encyclopedia. Don't ask me. But the information is vital. So, Bonnie is now trying to age herself up and down, control her powers, and Kuma is worried, of course, being a worried father. And this is important because now we get the former ruler, who is now under Kuma, running the day-to-day, Bulldog, comes to the church. And with him is his mother, the former Queen Dowager, Connie. Upon their arrival, we get a really funny scene where one of the people mistakes Queen Connie for elderly Bonnie because they look similar. And in between that shenanigans, Bulldog has come to talk to Kuma and tell him that, hey, Bakari isn't dead. King Kiss Ass is still alive. He went to the world government and is spreading lies about you, that you're a tyrant, that you took over this country, that you've killed the citizens. And now he has the backing of the world government and the Marines, and he's coming back to attack this island. The people are afraid. The people know if he sets foot on this island, they're as good as dead. So, Kuma has a decision to make. And he makes the only right decision he can. He asks King Bulldog and Queen Connie, hey, can you watch my daughter? I'm making you the official king once again. I'm going to make sure this man does not come back to this island, no matter what. But if I do that, I'll be a wanted criminal. So I can't come back either. I need you to take care of my daughter while I go out and search for a cure. And they agree. So, we cut to the open seas, and here we have Kuma in his lone ship, facing off against 3 Marine warships. We get a scene of Bakari. He's like, he's the tyrant. He took my country from me. Kill this man. We don't see the battle. We see the aftermath. And Kuma has sunk all of the ships and kept it pushing. We don't know if Bakari's dead or not, but who knows? We'll find out next chapter. We continue with the adventures of Kuma. We see him going from island to island. He visits all the islands that he sent the Straw Hats to during their time skip break to train. So we see how he gets the knowledge of where these islands are because he's visited these islands. He went there searching for a cure for his daughter, talking to these people, talking to the inhabitants. And it's amazing. But he finds no hope. Finally, he meets back up with Dragon and the Rev. And once he meets back up with Dragon and the Rev, we have all of our current revolutionaries now, except for Sabo and Koala that are on the ship with them. He's talking with Dragon. He's saying they're catching up, and then Bello Betty, who is actually sitting on his shoulder because he's a giant man, is like, hey, Kuma, can I be the commander of the Eastern Force? And Kuma's like, why are you asking me? And she says, well, Dragon has held that position open and refused to let anybody take that position without your blessing. And Kuma thinks about it, and he's like, well, a foul-mouthed girl wants to be the leader of the Eastern Force? I think that would be nice. Because he's remembering the lady he loved, the Jenny. So, after handling that business, Dragon tells Kuma about Vegapunk. And he tells him this at this time because previously, Vegapunk was on Punk Hazard, which was a Navy base. And being a revolutionary and a pirate, Kuma would have been arrested on sight trying to get there. But there was an accident, the Caesar Clown incident, and now Vegapunk has had to move his base to Egghead Island. So, Dragon says to Kuma, this might be the best chance for you to get to see him. He might be able to cure your daughter's disease. So Kuma thanks him. He goes back to the Sorbet Kingdom, and we cut there, and we see Bonnie's been training. She's whooping butt. She's beating up full-grown men, still a young child in her child form. And Kuma's like, oh, you've gotten stronger. That's great. He takes her, he puts her in like a little case where no natural light can get in because that could progress her disease further. And then he takes her to Egghead Island to meet Vegapunk. She meets Vegapunk, she meets Sentomaru, and she goes off with Sentomaru and plays with him while Kuma and Vegapunk talk. Kuma and Vegapunk are talking, and they're finding that they relate over ideas. Kuma saying like, oh yeah, if you could cure my daughter, I'll do anything for you. And Vegapunk's doing blood tests and seeing what Kuma's health is like, and he discovers, oh, his lineage. Oh, you're a Buccaneer. And he's like, yes I am. And he's like, why would you come to me? I work for the Navy. And Kuma responds with, I trust Dragon fully. If he says you're trustworthy, then I believe him. And Vegapunk is like, wow, I'll have to thank Dragon for that. Whatever. So they're talking, they're bonding, and Vegapunk has the idea like, hey, your body is tough, your body is different from that of a normal human. I want to use your body as the base for my clone trooper experiment. And Kuma asked the question, well, what are they going to be used for? He's like, they're going to be used to protect the citizens. Their bodies will be bulletproof. They'll be able to capture pirates and fight pirates without taking much damage. And if I can make them shoot lasers, they'll send them evil pirates running. And Kuma likes this idea. He likes the idea of his body or him being the basis of a clone army, basically, that will be here to protect the people, because that's all he's ever wanted to do, is protect the people, make sure the people can live happily and safely and freely. So he agrees, and he says this one line here that is really lets you know the depths of his character. And he's like, honestly, you could have offered me any deal and I would have took it as long as you cured my daughter. Good man. He's a good man. So while they're talking and he's explaining, Vegapunk's explaining to Kuma what he wants to do and why he wants to do it, and Kuma's agreeing, we cut over to the Holy Land in the Room of Authority, and we see Saint Saturn. Saint Saturn is eavesdropping on this conversation, and he says to himself, Vegapunk, you're a fool. You have no idea what this clone army could be capable of. I have my own ideas. And then we cut back to Kuma and Vegapunk for the last scene of the chapter, and they're talking, and Kuma is saying, yes, I'll do this. I really feel like this is what I was born for me to be able to help and protect the people. And Vegapunk's like, you're a saint. And Kuma says, no, I'm not a saint. I'm just really a pacifista, which is a translation of the word pacifist in the language the story's in. And so Vegapunk's like, I like that. That's what I'm going to call these clone troopers. And that's where the chapter ends, with these guys bonding over their love of peace and wanting to protect the people, and the higher powers that be scheming behind their backs to use their love of peace to cause more problems. This has been the news on chapter 1099. Thank you for joining us on the Slyy Report. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more One Piece content, and for our own special type of content, the Crew Adventures.